We have Samir Arora now joining us. Samir, it appears to be all sea of red, but your smile is intact. That is
Oh, no,
such a saving grace.
I am not smiling.
Oh,
Thing is, I always look for the
bright
way
side of
how
the
to
things.
defend what we are doing and what is happening. So the best way to look at it is, if you look at it over 2 days, if you say that on Saturday, the opinion polls had said that the BJP will get, the NDA will get 290 to 300, let's say, or whatever, 305, then what would have happened to the market over 2 days? I think the market would have been down 3-4% or up. Not, it may not have been up, would have been down 2-3-4% at the end of 2 days, because yesterday was such a good day. We are now maybe down less than 2% over 2 days. The way to survive this market and to be always happy is that yesterday's gain is not my gain. It is this month's gain. Today is this month's loss. Ghoom phir ke you go back to near zero. If you say, no, yesterday's gain though I had earned, and today I'm down 4%, how bad it looks. So that's the way to look at it, plus minus. You may fall another 3-5%, but I can't imagine that these stocks, these PSU stocks, the State Bank or some defense stocks are supposed to be down 15% if BJP or these guys get 290 seats or 330 seats. Are you supposed to get more orders if you are getting 330 seats? But if they are not in government, you can say that a new government may have different priorities and may deliberately not follow on the programs that were set up by the previous government. That is currently not the situation. Therefore, you can hit it 5-7% because you made them go up 5-7% yesterday. But otherwise, it makes no sense to bring them down 20 more percent or 10 more percent. Aaj ka chalo is justified as a reversal of yesterday. And then you add a few percent to it on this logic that what would you have done if on Saturday the opinion poll, exit polls had said that the NDA will get near 300.
What would you do now? You would
If
say
they
that,
get now 300.
okay, what would you do? You would say that, look, it's time to perhaps look not at right, but look at left now, which is maybe make some cosmetic changes in the portfolio.
So right now, today is not the day to do it, because after getting so hyper one way and then hyper other way is always a losing thing. Fortunately, we didn't buy more than one stock yesterday. So that gain of yesterday is being given up right now and maybe a little more. But that is it. So this will be seen after a few days, seeing that whether BJP has got how many seats. And the point is, at the end of the day, BJP is going to be the biggest party, and therefore the government will be formed with BJP and NDA. Now there will be some changes, because if the BJP gets less seats, then sort of the reinforcement of some of their policies may change. They may want to do more for in subsidies or become more socialist a little bit, and may try and do something for the middle class in terms of little bit tax cut. And I am pleased at the back of my mind that now capital gains tax is not coming after all this. So therefore, some stocks will change. Maybe 5-10% of the portfolio, you mix it for the new environment and you are again set for whatever may happen. But today is not the day to do that, I think, because it's too hyper right now.
Just one quick word. In the next 6 months, do you think market will completely forget this?
Sorry?
Samir, the way markets are, the way GDP data, GST collection, the underlying momentum, as long as BJP comes back in power in whatever composition, do you think market will rise over it and forget and get back to quality earnings with good fundamentals, all of that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that after a few days, if the government is the same sort of face, and 90% of the policies will be 90% of the policies will be similar, then how much can you hit the stocks? You can hit a few stocks still on the basis that some policy might change. But why will the defense policy change? Why will the fact that oil prices are now free change? Maybe something on the margin will change, or because you have only $100, you might buy some other stock because there might be some small shift, you will not be able to see that shift in 1 minute. Nobody says publicly, oh, because I got 30 less seats, instead of worrying about defense sector, I will now be giving subsidies. So please go and buy levers. But anyway, separately, these stocks that outperform on such days, I think that thing has changed. In the past, what we would do is interpret the performance of these stocks as saying, oh, the rural India is in distress, or the poor don't have money, they are not upgrading, they are not buying a better shampoo, they are not buying better noodle. I think part of the story is that people's basket has changed. They don't want to waste their money buying a better soap. They want to buy a better phone. They want to buy better shoes which somebody outside can see. They want to buy a better t-shirt maybe. They don't care whether it's one branded or unbranded noodle, is what I think. Because part of the new, this thing is to show on media, social media, everywhere you want selfie. So that is where the money may be spent. So in the end, it won't matter a lot. But obviously it is negative, and therefore for a few days or a few percentage it will happen.
Sameer, point taken. Just want to mark a few things in the markets right now, because it's turning out to be a historic day in terms of the volatility, and that's purely because India VIX is up 40%, no less. It's now hitting towards that 30 marks. Let's pull up the India VIX, and that will tell you it's one of the biggest gains that we have seen in India VIX, at least in my memory, whatever I have seen so far. But we are very close to that 30 mark. 10-year yields have also reacted, of course, with the fact that the majority is expected to be slimmer. So India VIX, or rather the 10-year yield, is now past the level of 7% already. And if you look at the Nifty right now, it's below the mark of 22,100. We have given up almost 1,200 points on the Nifty. The Bank Nifty, I think the carnage was almost 3,000 points. Sensex staring at a cut of around 4,000 points. So it's a day where individual portfolios, wherein the positionings which are leveraged, the F&O positions, all of that will come under a sizable cut today. But not trying to be cheeky here, Sameer, but just kind of putting it on board. Yesterday when we were having the conversation, it was very different scenario, and we talked about 25,000 perhaps on Diwali, perhaps maybe by the end of the year. Has that view changed?
Will change by a few months for sure, just because your starting point is now maybe 8-10% lower than what it was yesterday. But I'm saying conceptually, they're too practical. There's no great logic behind this, except I'm loud thinking with you, that 2 days later, if NDA is the government and Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister, and he has some NDA partners, which is whatever, Chandrababu Naidu or something, and he even insists that I want one ministry or two ministries. So what happens? I mean, we are saying upfront that therefore that new fellow will not let any of these policies happen. What will exactly change after 3, 4, 5 days? If the government itself has changed, it's a big change. If the government has changed, it'll be a different change, because the other guys, refuse to continue with the policies of the previous government as part of just the way to brand it under their own name. And their stated priorities are different, that we don't want this, we want this. But the same government also on the margin may change a little bit as feedback from, the fact that their results are disappointing. But beyond a little bit here or there, what exactly will change? And also at the index level, instead of stock A, stock B will do well. That is how life is. So here some defensive will do, some, like yesterday I was saying, local economy related, maybe a little bit, something else will outperform for a few days. And the index over time, therefore, is, sort of catches up and discounts these things. And some individual stocks lose their momentum. And that is why we always say be diversified and do long short.
The politicians and the market men will have to go back to the pen and paper and relook at their portfolios as well as their strategy right now. Sameer, hold that thought. Nikhil